BMW F900R 2020 on, review decent price, badge and options. The BMW F900R Naked Roadster was launched alongside the half-faired F900XR Adventure Sports version in 2020 and, although good, in many ways the naked bike is the slightly poorer relation, although that's no criticism of the R, it's just a reflection of how brilliant the XR is. The XR was the intended outcome when BMW converted their F850 GS parallel twin into a pure road bike. The point of the project was to build a little brother for the S1000XR and by so doing create a bike that could steal customers from Yamaha's hugely successful Tracer 9, formerly 900, which is massively popular in Europe. As a result, the XR feels like a wonderfully well-developed and together bike. It's not just the old F850 GS adventure bike dressed up to rival Yamaha's hugely popular Tracer 900, nor is it trying to be a mini S1000XR. Instead, by using a big-board F850 engine and the same frame, the XR is a fabulously composed and usable road bike. Ride quality and brakes. The F900R's sister bike, BMW's brilliant F900XR Adventure Sport, shines so brightly that it was always likely that the less mainstream, more niche and likely less popular R Roadster would struggle to compete, and that's certainly the case when it comes to ride quality and handling. Although the R's by no means bad, where the XR feels like a wonderfully well-developed and together bike, the R, which was created when BMW then reshaped the XR into a dynamic roadster, certainly feels like the lesser bike. The transformation hasn't worked as effectively as BMW probably would have liked, despite changes to the R's geometry, suspension and riding position. Engine. As with its sister bike, the F900XR Adventure Sports, the F900R Roadster's engine is a big bore job on the old parallel twin from the F850 GS, now displacing 895 cubic centimeters and making 68 pounds-feet of grunt and peak power of 105 brake horsepower. It feels free-revving and crisp under hard acceleration in first and second gear, though the sparkle fades in higher ratios. However, the new engine makes up for this with roll-on flexibility and accessible thrust of normal riding. Reliability and build quality. The donor F850 parallel twin engine, and the F800 before that, as enlarged and used in the F900R is proven and dependable, even though it's been increased in capacity and its firing order changed, so we wouldn't expect any reliability issues with the new 900, in either R or XR guise. Its specific power, bhp per cc, is modest and it's not a highly strung unit, all of which bode well for reliability. Chassis parts are good quality, too, such as the Brembo brakes. The F900RS switchgear and slick-colored TFT dash are the same as used across BMW's range, and the general level of finish is like you'd get on a spec'd-up or 1250 GS, costing almost twice as much. Value versus rivals. BMWs are normally expected to premium, prestige bikes with the lofty price tags and running costs to go with it, but that's not so with the Bavarian brands F900R and F900XR. At least, not in bog standard trim anyway, so what's going on? List price for the base model at launch was dead in line with rivals such as Yamaha's popular MT-09, and the F900R, even in bog basic trim, matches, if not beats it, on equipment levels, too. That said, it is worth pointing out here that few buyers will buy the bog standard version of the BM, simply because many of its options are so tempting. Equipment. Although the R is keenly priced for a BMW, list and PCP are nigh on identical to a Yamaha MT-09, this isn't a budget offering. Quality and finish are as good as any BMW, and you get the color dash used on the 1250s with phone connectivity and switchgear control, riding modes, traction control, a great 2-height screen, LED lights, and many X-Works seat height choices. However, as with pretty much any BMW, it's when you start to look beyond the standard fitting and fitments and explore what's possible via the Bavarian marque's ever-impressive extra cost options list, that things get really interesting. Specs. Engine size 895 cubic centimeters. Engine type 8V, DOHC parallel twin. Frame type steel bridge type. Fuel capacity 15.5 liters. Seat height 825 millimeters. Bike weight 825 kilograms. Front suspension $43 million forks no adjustment. Rear suspension monoshock, ADJ preload and rebound damping, optional ESA. Front brake 2x 320 mm discs with 4-piston radial calipers, ABS. Rear brake 265 mm single disc with single piston caliper, ABS. Front tire size 120/70x17. Rear tire size 180/55x17. MPG, costs and insurance. Average fuel consumption 50 miles per gallon. Annual road tax £101. Annual service cost £350. New price £8,370. Used price £6,500 to £8,300. Insurance group. How much to insure? Warranty term 2 years. Top speed and performance. Max power 104 brake horsepower. Max torque 68 ft-lb. Top speed. A quarter mile acceleration. Tank range 170 miles.